Welcome back to the vlog. This is part 2 of a 2-part episode. I have 1383 in my stack. If you haven't seen the last episode, there's a link to it right above. Make sure you watch that first. The last hand was extremely exciting. It was so intense, I had to get up from the table, walk around for about 5 minutes, catch my breath, calm my pulse, and then I pick up pocket twos in the big blind. There's a straddle on the pot. The under the gun player limps. The hijack limps. The small blind limps, and I'm just going to complete. This may be the first hand all session that has just been limped all the way around. I'm very happy to go to the flop for as cheap as possible, set mining, but the gods have something else in store. 5-4-3 rainbow. I have hit a straight draw. I'm second act. I have a good hand. I need to put in some sort of bet, try to thin the field. I'm going to keep it small, $25. The button makes the call. The small blind makes the call. Everyone else folds. We're headed 3 ways to the turn. $125 in the pot, and the dealer puts out the 7 of spades. This is the worst card I could have seen. Now if I get a 6, I play the board. If I get an ace, I still may be losing to a 6. I just am going to check and give up. The button bucks $60, and I fold. The next hand I get is King 7 offsuit. I'm in the small blind. The 2 middle position players, the low jack, the cutoff have all limped. I'm just going to go ahead and complete, although I should just fold. The big blind checks. We're headed 5 ways to the flop, $30 in the pot, and the dealer puts out 4, deuce, 7. I hit my top pair. I have the second best kicker. I'm just going to go ahead and lead this one out. Small bet. Let's go with $20. The big blind makes the call. The cutoff makes the call. Everyone else folds. We're headed to the turn. 3 ways with $90 in the pot, and the dealer puts out the 4 of spades. I think it's okay to slow down here. I decided to check. The big blind checks, and now he gets to the cutoff. He decides to be a little aggressive. He bets $95. This is one of those situations where the pot's only $90. The bet is a pot-sized bet. I have a decent hand. I don't really even want to be invested in this pot, but I feel some sort of obligation to make the call, especially considering this is the same player that just tried to bluff me. This is the same player that went all in with King Queen. He's probably feeling a little bit stressed. He's probably feeling a little bit anxious. He probably wants to get his money back. I make the call, although it's $100, and then the big blind immediately ships it all in. $285, and the cutoff makes the call. I, of course, have to fold. $755 in the pot. The person that went all in, the big blind, had ace-7, had me dominated. The cutoff had King 4. I had him dominated until the turn. I was in 3rd place. That's just another lesson in sticking to your ranges. If I would have just folded pre-flop in the small blind with a hand that I never should play from the small blind, I would have saved a lot of money. The next hand I get is 8-7 offsuit. I'm in the small blind again, and I apparently haven't learned my lesson. There's a straddle on the pot. Both middle position players, the cutoff, the under the gun, and the button have all called. I complete. The big blind also completes. $70 in the pot, 7 ways to the flop, and the dealer puts out 7-5-3. With top pair, I'm going to go ahead and lead out. $20. It's a very small bet, but I just want to thin the field a little bit, see where I'm at, and give myself a little bit of protection. The under the gun player makes the call. It folds around to the button, who also decides to make the call. We're headed 3 ways to the flop, $130 in the pot, and the dealer puts out the 8 of hearts. I get my top 2 pair. I love to see it. There are 2 hearts on the board, and there's 2 different straights possible. I'm going to go ahead and continue betting, but I'm a little nervous about what the other players hold. I don't want to commit too many chips. I decide on about a half-size pot bet. I put $60 in the pot. Only one amigo wants his tango, salsa, cha-cha, bachata. It's the under the gun player. He makes the call. $250 in the pot. We're headed to the river, and the river is the 6 of spades. This is a dangerous and difficult card to navigate. Now there's a 4 card straight on the board. A 4 or a 9 makes the straight. Absolutely crushes me. I'm going to check, slow down, check call, bluff catch. Hopefully he just checks behind. No. It's not that easy. It's never that easy in poker. He grabs green chips. He grabs some more green chips. Is he bluffing? Is he doing a value bet? Does he have a 9? Does he have a 4? What could he have? Let's run through it. 7-9, I guess, possibly. 8-9, possibly if he's going for the gut shot and then hit his pair on the turn. Maybe he has a 4, but I really don't see many 9s, many 4s. Why does he just want to wake up all of a sudden and bet big? Why didn't he raise me on the turn if he had something solid? It's making me think that if he has a made hand, he made it on the river. I can find a fold here. There's a 4 and a 9 that beat me. Does he have it? I have top 2 pair. I just get nervous that if I'm folding top 2 pair in this situation, I'm probably over folding in general. If I'm throwing away top 2 pair, I'm throwing away any other 2 pair combination. Sure, he could have a set. Would he really pressure me now? I don't think so. Even with a set of 6s that he hit on the river, he would probably just check back or maybe bet smaller. This is a large bet. Is he trying to take me to Valley Town? I want to see. I make the call, and boom. He flips over 7-4. He had top pair, terrible kicker on the flop, called me on the turn for who knows what reason, and then he got lucky. He spiked his 6, and he's taking $300 for my stack. Brutal. The next hand I get is ace-6 of spades. I'm in the low jack. I'm down to $938 on my stack. It's amazing how much your stacks can fluctuate in a 2-5 game. I'm going to go ahead and bump it up, open the action. It's folded around to me. I make it $20. The hijack makes the call, and then it folds around to the small blind, who decides he's going to complete as well. We are going 3 ways to the flop, $65 in the pot, and the dealer puts out ace, queen, jack. I love to bet, but I do need to have some decent hands in my checking range, so I do check, and it checks all the way around. We're going to the turn, which is the 9 of spades. Now, I need to put in a bet, but the small blind beats me to it. He bets 25, and this is an easy call. The hijack gets out of the way. It's heads up, $115 in the pot. The dealer straightens the cards, pulls in the chips, burns, and turns. The 5 of diamonds. I'm going to just go ahead and check here. Check call. He puts in a really small bet, $35. There's not much of a decision here, although I do feel like I'm being milked. He may have a bigger ace. He may have a straight, but I want to see because it's a cheap bet. He flips over jack 9. I let him see a free card. The turn, it was the card he needed. He hit his 2 pair, and he took me to Value Town. Luckily, it wasn't too much. The next hand I get is king jack offsuit. I'm in the cutoff, 858 in my stack. I'm looking to build it back up. The under the gun player's limped. The middle position player limps. The low jack limps. It's on me. I'm going to bump it up in the cutoff, $25. The small blind makes the call. The under the gun player makes the call. The middle position player makes the call. The low jack decides he wants some action. He decides to come along, makes the call. We are headed 5 ways to the flop, $130 in the pot. The dealer scoops in the chips. He burns. He puts down the flop. Deuce, king, king. What a nice flop for king jack. What a great position to be in. It checks all the way around to me. You know my style. I like to bet, and I bet $45. There's a lot of players. Hopefully one of them has a king. The small blind is taking the bait, biting the hook, grabbing his chips, throws in $45, and it folds all the way around. We're heads up, headed to the turn. $220 in the pot. The dealer drags the chips in. The pot's getting bigger by the moment. Burns, turns. It's the 2 of diamonds, the worst card I could see. The small blind leads out $75. I think I know what's going on. We're headed to a chop pot. It's very disappointing, especially now that I know he has a king. I could have taken all of those greens. I still could be aggressive here. I could bump it up. Maybe he has a 2. Maybe he has an ace. Maybe he has nothing. I grab a bunch of green chips, and I decide, you know what? I'm just going to make the call. I'm pretty sure he has a king. I think I just got unlucky with this one. The dealer burns and turns. It's the 10 of spades. Doesn't change anything. If it was a jack, then I would be pouncing on him. He throws in a chip. I think he says all in, but he doesn't. He says $5. I say, really, $5? He holds up his hand and says, it's a chop anyway. I could get a little creative. What's the point? I make the call. We both flip up our kings. We're chopping a pot. I do make a little bit of money off of this pot, but not too much. Just about $40. The next thing I look at is 10 queen of hearts. I'm in the low jack, 898 in my stack, and the middle position player limps. I'm going to bump this one up. It's good enough to raise $20. Of course, at this table, $20 is as good as a limp, and the cutoff calls, the button calls, the big blind makes the call, and of course, the middle position wants to tag along as well. Why not? There's 5 people in this pot, $102. We're headed to the flop, and the dealer puts out queen, 8, 6. I hit my top pair. No hearts. but I'm going to continue betting. I make it $50. It folds around to the middle position player who makes the call. We're headed to the turn. It's the 9 of spades, and I just decide I'm going to slow down this street. I'm going to check. I'm going to check call, bluff catch, give him an opportunity to bet into me if he wants to, but I don't want to bet and get raised and face a difficult decision. The river is the jack of diamonds. I have to do a double take. I have to do a triple take. But yes, I have a straight, and not only do I have a straight, but my opponent is leading into me $125, bringing the pot to $327. Now I have a decision to make. How much can I milk him for? I think I have the best hand. No, I know I have the best hand. I'm going to put some more money in this pot. I grab my greens. I grab some reds. I'm not exactly sure how much money it is, but it turns out to be a magical number for reasons that I will not discuss. 420. Guys, I have been editing this video for like 8 hours. It is a long freaking video. If you will do me a huge favor, just spend 1 second, give me a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. It really, really does help the channel a lot. It really helps promote and push my videos out to new viewers. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the hand. My opponent is now shaking back and forth, rolling his eyes, huffing and puffing. I've sized a size that is making him think about calling. Let's just see if he can pull the trigger. He hasn't called immediately. I don't think I'm chopping. I don't think I'm losing. I'm just seeing if my bet was the right size. I know it was the right size for some of you. You'll take any excuse you can get to... Okay, anyways, back to the hand. He is huffing and puffing. He's blowing the house down. He is talking himself into a call like we've all done so many times. I am just biting my lip. I need this to get back to a nice chip stack. I built it up. I lost it down. This could put me right back where I was at the peak. Come on, baby. Tossing the chip. Pushing the chips. Throwing the chips. I don't care how you put them in. Just make the damn call. I'm going to give you 3 seconds and I'm going to call time. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness I flip over the 10 queen of hearts. He sees the bad news. It's obviously getting to him. He's had a frustrating night. We've all been there before. I know the feeling too well. I just experienced it with my 8-7. I may have had him beat the whole way. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. The river came through for me. Now I have $1,380 in my stack. I lose a few small hands. Drop down to $1,281. And I decide I'm going to take him to the cage and turn him in to cold hard cash. I'm in for $1,000, out for $1,280 for a profit of $280. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet and you've made it to the end, you know what to do. I'll see you next time. Kato out.